Good evening and welcome to Herald Standard Television. As players walk in front of us, we're just minutes away from the opening tap as Uniontown takes on Albert Gallatin in a Section 2 opener. I'm Chuck Durso. Along with me, Jess Hudson. We'll be bringing you all the action. The opening tap just a few minutes away. And Jess, Uniontown, the top-ranked team in the WPIAL, they're on a roll early. They come into this game 4-0, and nobody's come within 19 points of them so far.
Probably one of the strengths to Uniontown's club is their defense. They're very aggressive, a lot of trapping, a lot of pressing. And if AG has to do only one thing well tonight, and they must do many, that's take care of the basketball.
Dan Andrea very pleased, though, with his team's play thus far. They are 3-2. They come in with a winning record, and he says, quite honestly, we're playing better even than I hoped that we would early in the season. He calls this a scrappy team, and he's very pleased with their performance thus far, but he's the first one to admit they have a lot of work ahead of them tonight.
It's going to be very difficult for them to try to control the tempo, but I think they must make 7, 8, 9 passes without turning it over. Try to keep the score down in the 50s if possible. If Uniontown gets that running game going, it's going to be a long night for AG.
And, of course, both teams looking for balance in the offense, so a whole lot of players that we'll tell you about in a few moments when we go over the starting lineups. Should be a good one last night on this very same floor. A little bit of a surprise as the Uniontown girls team won big. Will we have a surprise tonight? We'll find out. It's Uniontown and Albert Gallatin, the opening tap and the starting lineups just minutes away on Herald Standard Television Sports. Stay tuned. And welcome back courtside. Chuck Durso along with Jess Hudson. We are minutes away from starting this one off as Albert Gallatin visits Uniontown. It's the Colonials and the Red Raiders in the Section 2 Quad A opener for this season. The undefeated and top-ranked Red Raiders put that unblemished mark on the line against the Colonial squad that's off to a very good start, coming in with a winning record at 3-2. We're going to have the national anthem coming up in just a few moments, along with the Uniontown alma mater. And we'll take a look at the starting lineups after that. But first, let's listen to our national anthem. fine job done by those young men down there for the national anthem. I think they were quite in sync as they sang that song. Okay, we'll just let that one alone. We are just about ready, and we'll take a look at the starting lineups here in just a moment, Jess. But, boy, what a great atmosphere. A wonderful crowd here. And last night, of course, we were here for the girls' game. We saw a lot of the boys' players. And tonight, the girls have returned the favor. We passed several of the Albert Gallatin girls who've come out to root on the boys' team, along with a lot of other fans.
Well, it's a nice, has a nice local flavor to it, Chuck. The school's only 6 or 7 miles apart. And as we walked in the hall, we see a lot of Laurel Highlands people here as well. The Mustangs at Ringgold tonight, I believe. So many of the Mustang supporters down here to take a peek at the Red Raider contingent.
A lot of fans in the balconies tonight, and should be a wonderful atmosphere, an electric crowd. We're looking forward to a good one. As we take a look at the Albert Gallatin starting lineup, the starting 5 that they will send out tonight includes number 5, junior Chris Moore, also number 23, and that would be junior Donnie Palmer, number 24, senior Maurice Jackson, number 32, senior Chris Bunsick, and number 33, senior Justin Higman. Your starting 5, 3 seniors and 2 juniors for the Albert Gallatin Colonials. Meanwhile, as we take a look at the starting 5 for the Uniontown Red Raiders, playing the point guard position will be number 12. That's senior David Winfrey, and he'll be joined in that backcourt by number 24, senior Terrence Vaughn. Also, number 20, Dear Jenkins, all playing guard. They basically play a 3-guard offense. Meanwhile, up front, they'll have number 52, senior Kevin McLeod, and number 32, senior Chris Jacobs. So it's an all-senior starting lineup. Uniontown, obviously, with a lot of experience. This is the year they've been pointing towards, and they have high hopes. A section title is just step 1, a WPIAL title step 2. They want to go to Hershey, and they want to win it this time.
Well, way back in the day, Chuck, when Uniontown had their greatest teams, winning a section title didn't even receive a mention. I mean, that was a foregone conclusion. Takes on a little more significance these days, but I think one of the keys tonight will be junior Chris Moore, the lead guard for Albert Gallatin. He's got to be the one making most of the decisions when that vaunted Red Raider press strikes, and it does strike quickly.
They look for runs, the Uniontown Red Raiders. No secret to any of the fans around here who've seen them over the years. They basically try to apply that defensive pressure, create offense from their defense. They look for that 3 or 4 minute run. They try to get at least one in each half where they can break open a game, and suddenly when you think you're in the game, suddenly you're not. From Albert Gallatin's standpoint, talking with head coach Dan Andrea before the game, down on the floor, he basically said, we're going to try to stay with them for as long as we can, get into the fourth quarter, and take our shot then. So that will be Albert Gallatin's hope. Bunsick and Jacobs will tap it up. Kevin McLeod controls it, and the Raiders get the first possession. Albert Gallatin will come out in a man-to-man. Winfrey. Checked by Palmer up top. Now Jenkins going to let one fly for 3. Good start for the Raider offense. Dear Jenkins with the tray. Now Albert Gallatin with their first possession, and with quick turnover. Winfrey gets it to Kevin McLeod. Tries to drive down, and they're just going to call it out of bounds. Kevin lost control of the basketball, so it will come back to Albert Gallatin. So successive turnovers. Now here's Maurice Jackson. What a great running back he's been for the football team for several years. They look for him to create in the open court. Oh, almost a travel there. Jackson, one of the players for Albert Gallatin who can match up athletically with the Raiders. There's a rejection by Chris Jacobs. But McLeod throws it away, trying to hit Winfrey on the Raider break. Of course, you talk about great football running backs, and Kevin McLeod's name has to be mentioned as well. What an awesome season and a great career he had playing football for the Raiders. Now here's Jackson on the backdoor pass. Nicely done, but the shot doesn't go down. Now Winfrey in the open court doesn't have the numbers. From way downtown, Terrence Vaughn didn't catch any iron on that one. Now Maurice Jackson. He'll kick it back. A long 3. No good by Moore. Rebound, Chris Jacobs. Dear Jenkins ahead of the field. Can't get the roll. Terrence Vaughn is there. Back out to Dier. That's no good. And the rebound by Higman. With the Raiders unable to get their shots to go down early, Albert Gallatin still looking for their first points. Now Jackson will let fly. Air ball from 3. And that'll bring the familiar chant. A fast pace early on, but only 3 points up on the board. They belong to the Raiders. Jenkins thought about it. AG now has switched into his zone. Terrence Vaughn's running the baseline, gets it to Jacobs. Beautiful ball movement, and the Raiders lead by 5. And a near steal. Bunsick gets McClee up into the air and scores. Nice play inside by the senior. Raiders lead by 3. Now Winfrey will put it up from downtown. That's no good. And the rebound by Higman. Albert Gallatin now looking for back-to-back buckets. Raiders in the man-to-man, which of course they will predominantly play front to start. Almost a shock to see them in any other kind of defense. And that's why. Steal. Winfrey. No good. Jacobs couldn't control on the follow, but look at Winfrey. Quick hands. Wide open underneath the Vaughns. Shot doesn't go down, but he'll go to the line. Kevin McClee on the follow, and Terrence Vaughn saying, oh, don't touch that ball. It might have went in. I don't think it was going to, though.
Neither team shooting very well here in the early going, Chuck. Uniontown just 2 of 7, 28%. AG no better, 1 of 5 and 20%.
Jenkins hit that 3 right off the bat, and after that, Uniontown's been unable to get anything going other than 1 shot afterwards. And now Vaughns misses from the stripe. The foul was called on Moore, his first. That was the first foul of the game on either squad. Uniontown, a very good free throw shooting team. Terrence Vaughns, excellent from the line normally. Did miss that first shot. Gets the drop on the second one, and it's 6-2 Raiders. Here's Moore. Just mentioned, of course, how important it will be for Moore to handle that ball. He had the turnover the last time down. And almost another turnover there, but a heads-up play by Bunsick to bang it off of Vaughn's knee. Albert Gallatin will inbound. Moore in the corner. Higman, he got caught up in the air. Now the Raiders looking to run. No, Winfrey will pull it up. Vaughn. Carl Farrell now in the game. Here's Jenkins. That 3 no good. Jackson with the rebound. Number 14, Carl Farrell, is checked in for McClee. First substitution of the evening, and another near steal. Here's Moore. Tries to get it inside. That doesn't work. Look at Farrell with the hustle. I mentioned last night during the girls' game, just when you play Uniontown, the passes better be crisp, because if you throw a soft pass, it's not going to get to its intended target.
No lazy passes, and really that's against any team, but in particular Uniontown, Chuck. Just incredible speed and quickness. And Uniontown, a very senior-laden team, and certainly they're quick to pounce on their opponents.
Logan Bowers checks into the game now for Albert Gallatin. Here comes Higman down the lane. Farrell disrupted that shot, and a swat by Terrence Vaughn. Farrell up in the air again to disrupt the shot. And now a scramble on the court. And some more contact, but Albert Gallatin still has the ball. Bunsick, no good. And Farrell with the rebound. Helter-skelter action underneath, but the Colonials cannot score. Now on the other end, we will get contact called. Higman called for the foul, and Bonds will go back to the line.
AG just 1 of 10 halfway through this first quarter, 10%. And it's not because they haven't had their fair shots. They've had the ball inside, but Uniontown quick off the feet and disrupts their flow underneath the hoop.
Check that. Vaughn's not going to go to the line. They're going to say that was a non-shooting foul. So Uniontown inbounding. Vaughn's running the baseline against that 2-3 zone. They try to free him up in the corners. Now trying to get it inside to Jacobs. Forced that pass. Stolen. Now back comes Palmer. Oh, my goodness. Carl Farrell the dean of discipline, laying down the law with that rejection. And coming back the other way, they'll call the charge on Dier.
Quick exchange of action, and Carl Farrell gives Uniontown something they have not had the past 2 years, and that's a very good and quality inside presence. Very quick off his feet at only 6'1½". He is a leaper and does play up around the rim, if not above the rim at times.
Timeout called. 30-second timeout. First of the evening. Boy, we have, for only 8 points in almost 5 minutes of basketball, we have had a lot of action out there on the court. No doubt about that. And you're right, Jess. That's what the one thing that they've lacked is a true center. And even Farrell, I don't know if he'd qualify as a true center in Quad A, but he's the closest they've come in the past couple of years. And I think that he makes a huge difference for this team.
Yeah, Carl really probably just a swing man at 6'1½", but up off his feet as quick as anyone will see this year. Too bad he's not an inch or two taller.
He plays an inch or two taller, though. They only,
good point. He plays 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, reminiscent, of course, of the one player they lost from last year's team, of course, to graduation. That was Nelson Jones, who probably played 3 or 4 inches taller. Now Albert Gallatin trying to break the press, and that's the way you break the press. And Bunsick will go to the line. Farrell called for the foul this time.
AG just hanging around, Chuck. Of course, the game's very early, only 5 minutes in. Only down by 2. AG only with 3 turnovers. Uniontown with 4 at this point. You would think things would turn around the other way as the game progresses.
Brandon Duncan comes into the game now for the Raiders. Now Bunsick will try to convert the 3-point opportunity and does. And it's 6-5. Now the drive and the score. Ricky Wilson, who also just came into the game, and now a miss. But Albert Gallatin with it back, and here's Bunsick again. Downfield, here's Farrell. He'll put up the jumper, and that's no good. Rebound, Vaughns, and a foul. Okay, Vaughns will now go to the line. 2:38 remaining here in the first period. Makes the free throw. He's now 2 for 3. Nine to 5 Uniontown. Second shot up and in. Albert Gallatin now trails by 5 with the basketball. 2.5 minutes remaining. First quarter, near steal, not quite. Jackson gets it. Gets it to Higman. Look at the Red Raiders just all over. Swarming defense. Now Palmer will let fly a 3. First tray of the night for Albert Gallatin, and head coach Dave Shuck immediately calls a 30-second timeout. 2:18 left in the first quarter, and the Raiders lead it 10-8.
Coach Shuck very animated over there. He can't be real pleased with what's happening at this point. Only a 2-point lead. AG hanging in there, not shooting well at all, but getting many attempts on the offensive board. And Shuck will go to his bench often. I think he feels that, it's a long way to go and our team can't overcome, but perhaps the Red Raiders are thinking about Las Vegas a week early, Chuck. I mean, that's always possible, and certainly you don't want to underestimate an opponent, especially one that's only 6 miles away, a big rival.
That's always dangerous, too. You're exactly right. You don't want to do that. Dier Jenkins checks back in now for the Raiders. Farrell, Vaughns, Jenkins, Wilson, and Mays. The 5 on the floor right now for Uniontown. Albert Gallatin with Bunsick, Palmer, Jackson, Moore, and Higman. They're starting 5.
AG changed their defense out of the timeout. They're in a 1-3-1 somewhat passive. At times, I guess they're going to trap in the corners.
Now Mays. Jenkins, no good. Farrell with the follow, no good. Bunsick with the rebound. Look at the elbows fly. That's intensity, fans. And there's a lot of it out there on the court early on. Now Higman picked up his dribble. I think he picked up his pivot foot too, but it wasn't called. Now Moore with a little bit of space. That would have tied it, but Wilson with the rebound. Careful with the pass. He turns it over. Now Jackson, long range, would have been a three. That would have given the Colonials the lead. And now it looks like Vaughns may have injured himself underneath the basket. He will have to come out. 1:19 left here in the first quarter. Raiders lead at 10-8. This is what Dan Andrea wanted. Stay in the game for as long as possible. Every minute that Albert Gallatin is still in the game, it's almost as if you've stolen another minute. Get it into the fourth quarter, and then crazy things can happen. And what a job Dan Andrea has done early on here this year. Has this team coming in with a winning record. He is the all-time leading victory, has the all-time leading victory total among head coaches in Albert Gallatin school history since the current configuration, since consolidation. His second tenure as head coach at Albert Gallatin. Of course, had great success years ago coaching Fairchance George's high school. Took them to the Final Four in the state one year, led by Mike King. Oh, and the Raiders throw it away.
Uniontown checks in with 6 turnovers. AG only half as many. Again, I think we're somewhat surprised from that stat, Chuck.
Now again, looking to tie or take the lead with a three. That three no good, but the follow is up and in. And we are tied. That was Ryan Jenkins with the follow. 10-10. Now a long three by Mays. Thirteen to 10. 19 seconds left in the first quarter and a steal. Twelve seconds left. Raiders by 3. They'll now hold for 1. Looking underneath for Wilson. Can't handle the pass from Winfrey. And with exactly 4 seconds left, now Albert Gallatin will have a chance to fire one up. Kevin McLee will re-enter the game. In for Carl Farrell. Looking for the long touchdown pass. Instead, here comes Moore. He'll have to let one fly. No, instead he makes the pass. That shot is in time, but no good as Reed put it up at the buzzer. Well, that was an exciting quarter, fans. And if that's an indication, we're in for a good one. After 1 quarter of play, the score. Uniontown 13, Albert Gallatin 10. Second quarter action right after this.
Injured in an auto accident? The hometown team at Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law has been helping local people recover from their injuries since 1976. And there's no fee unless you recover. Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
Fayette Tire, located at 350 Pittsburgh Street in Uniontown, would like to introduce the newest member of their tire family, the American Car Care line. Protect your investments with our nationwide tire warranty. We offer 90 days same as cash with our preferred customer credit card, the card for your car. So stop in at Fayette Tire Company, your American Car Care Center, and see the men who know tires best.
Welcome back. Getting ready for second quarter action. Chuck Durso along with Jess Hudson. It's 13-10 Uniontown with the 3-point lead, but Albert Gallatin doing exactly what they were hoping to do, and that's stay in this game for as long as they can. And now underneath, Reed, a little bit of contact, nothing called, loses the ball out of bounds, and the Raiders will come back. Jess, if you're Dan Andrea, you have to be pleased with the first 8 minutes.
Well, maybe on the scoreboard, but they're only shooting 4 for 20 Okay, only 20%. So they'll need to pick that up a little bit as we progress through the game here.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Man, that's, how are you still in the game when you're shooting? I guess you look at the bright side. We're only down by 3.
Well, they have so many offensive rebounds.
Nice high-low action as Jacobs gets it to McClee for the bucket. Boo's first bucket of the night. Raiders now lead by 5. Jenkins checking Palmer up top. Tries to get it underneath to Moore. Good intentions, but maybe not a wise decision to try to force that ball in. Now Gallatin turns it over, and that's what you cannot afford to do. Hickman now checks back in for Reed.
AG starts the second quarter, Chuck, with 2 possessions and 2 turnovers. Not the way Dan Andrea wanted his club to respond after the break in between quarters.
There's very little margin for error when you're playing a team like Uniontown, and you're right. You just can't afford that. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Raiders looking to extend a 5-point lead. Turn around, Chris Jacobs. 4 for Jacobs, and Dan Andrea is not going to wait at all. He immediately wants to call a timeout and try to stop the bleeding as the Raiders have pushed the lead up to 7. It's 17-10, and that's a 30-second timeout.
Very good timeout by Coach Andrea. Uniontown up to 7 points. That's their biggest lead. And if Uniontown gets hot, that 7 can mushroom to 15 very, very quickly. So Coach Andrea doesn't want this to get away. Good point, Chuck.
Section opener in Section 2, Quad A. Albert Gallatin playing at Uniontown. Also in the section tonight, Laurel Highlands is opening at Ringgold, and Cannon McMillan is playing at Connellsville. Those are the 3 games tonight to open things up in Section 2. Of course, here it's, as you alluded to earlier, just a bit of a backyard rivalry as Uniontown takes on Albert Gallatin, and we've had a good one so far. Now we resume action near Steele. Moore maintains possession. Now he's going to try to dribble through that Red Raider press, and never going to have a lot of success doing that on a consistent basis, but he makes it through that time. Palmer up top. Checked by Jenkins. Ooh, careful, Hickman. A little loose with the ball, and then he throws it away trying to hit Jackson. Yeah, so that's 3 possessions, 3 turnovers. Albert Gallatin still hasn't put up a shot here in the second quarter. McClee wide open underneath. Pump fake, up, can't get the roll. Jacobs keeps it alive, but now it comes out to Moore. The break, Hickman gets it back to Moore, but he's in amongst the tall trees and tried to get it out, but traveled prior to doing so. Vaughn's now back in. He's apparently all right, and that's good to see as Mays will take a seat, but some good minutes for James Mays, the sophomore who comes in, hits a bucket and then a 3, so 5 big points. Raiders by 7. Jenkins running the baseline. He's open, and he hits it. Well, that's what Uniontown's looking to do against that Albert Gallatin zone. They're just having somebody run the baseline constantly, trying to free them up for that 12 to 15-footer. And you don't want to give D.R. Jenkins that much room. He's going to hurt you. Now a steal. Jacobs. Oh, good idea as he dished it back to Vaughns, but a foul on the floor prior.
AG with 5 turnovers now. We don't mean to harp on it, but as we said at the top of the broadcast, if AG only does one thing well, it better be take care of the basketball. They check in with 9 turnovers in the first 10 minutes.
Can't score if you don't shoot, and they're not getting any shots off. That foul called on Chris Bunsick. Now they try that high-low action again. Boy, nice hands by McClee to catch the pass. Couldn't get the shot to go down, and Palmer gets the rebound for the Colonials. Tough pass to catch, the bounce pass in the paint from Jacobs. McClee got it. Couldn't get the shot to go down. Now Moore dribbles to the free throw line. Can't get the shot to go. Ball comes out, goes to McClee. He has Jacobs with him. Oh, he's turning over the ball. But he will go to the line as the foul is going to be called on Hickman. Boy, a lot of Albert Gallatin fans up here in the stands, and we're on the side in amongst the AG faithful. They were calling for the carry, and boy, Jess, from up here, it looked like he carried it twice.
Well, officiating's not easy, Chuck. As you know, I've been known to toot the whistle, and our officials tonight, the referee is Mark Pellis, the 2 umpires, Doug Klingen and Greg Fenton. they've got their work cut out for them with this pressing, trapping Uniontown defense. They'll need to be on their toes.
And I've commented a lot. I commented a lot of times last year. The one change I've noticed in officiating in high school basketball is the carry doesn't get called as often as it used to, and players seem to get away with something I know I didn't get away with when I played. But then again,
well, if there are any
I didn't get the ball very often when I played either, but that's another story. I'm sorry, go ahead.
If there are any supervisors of officials watching tonight, they won't want to hear the comment that the carry is being called less, because there's been a lot of emphasis on that particular call in the last 2 or 3 years.
Over and back now called, another Albert Gallatin turnover. McLee hit both of his free throws, by the way, so it's now 21-10, and here comes that Raider run that we're talking about, as they've taken a 13-10 game, and they've run it right out to 21-10. Now look at that pass from Farrell to Winfrey with a little dipsy-do, and he'll go to the line as Higman will be nailed for yet another foul.
Uniontown on an 8-0 run here to start the second quarter. AG checks in with 7 turnovers and only 1 field goal attempt here in the first 3 minutes. Uniontown in the bonus the rest of the way here in this half.
Winfrey misses the first. That is the 6th team foul on Albert Gallatin, and Higman has now picked up his 3rd personal foul. So on top of everything else, now a little bit of foul trouble for Albert Gallatin. Winfrey gets the roll on the second. And AG now trails by 12, under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Albert Gallatin still scoreless here in the second period. Gets it inside to Palmer. Pump fake. And gets the drop. Nice play inside by the 6-foot junior, Donnie Palmer. And the Uniontown lead now at 10. Winfrey up top. Albert Gallatin will give him that shot. You don't want to give Terrence Vaughn that shot, though. A 1-2-3, and it's 25-12. First field goal of the night for Terrence. He has 6. And a steal. Bonds. Jackson coming back. Can't prevent the layup. 5 quick ones from Terrence. And Albert Gallatin wants to call a timeout with 4:10 left in the first half. The score, Uniontown 27, Albert Gallatin 12. Well, this game was close for the first period, but so far the second quarter has been all Red Raiders, Jess. And they're doing it the way we say they like to do it, create offense from defense.
Uniontown on a 14-2 run here in the first couple minutes. And basketball is a game of streaks, and if one team or the other was going to have a few streaks tonight, we thought it would be Uniontown. Unfortunately for AG, they have 8 turnovers here, and that has led to Uniontown being able to take complete charge of this game here in the second quarter, up 15 with 4:10 to go in the second.
Uniontown comes in 4-0. Margin of victory in the 4 games, 23, 19, 20, and 27. So they haven't even been challenged yet. Now we're going to get contact and send him to the line, as Donnie Palmer will have the 3-point opportunity. Farrell will be called for his second foul. I think that's, and it's dangerous, but I think that's how you have to attack the Uniontown press. You try to get fast breaks off of them. You try to attack. Uniontown almost wants you to do that. They want to play that up-tempo. They'll give up a couple of layups because they know they'll get a lot of turnovers. But still, they force you into playing open court with them.
Typically, anytime you attack the hoop, good things happen.
Foul shot doesn't go down. 27-14. Now Mays. He's going to run the baseline now. Has 1 3 tonight. This one no good. Farrell skying for the rebound. And a foul on the floor. They're going to call this one on Moore. And Farrell will go to the line for 1 in the bonus. Second foul on Moore. Uniontown 6 for 8 as a team so far from the charity stripe. This will be Carl Farrell's first free throws of the evening. Or first free throw. He won't get the second one, but Jacobs is there with the rebound. Now a scramble. Oh, nice heads-up play by D.R. Jenkins to bang it off of Chris Bunsick. And the Red Raiders will maintain possession. 3:37 remaining in the first half. Raiders lead by 13. D.R. Jenkins in the corner. Well, he wants to pull the trigger on that three, doesn't he? Swing it around the other way. No, they come back to the near side. Now skip pass. There's Jenkins, wide open for three. The fourth three-pointer by the Red Raiders here in the first half. And the lead is 16. That's the biggest Uniontown advantage thus far. Now more pressure. And here's Farrell. Oh, and guess what they call?
Chuck, they hurt us up here.
Yes. They call the carry. And Carl, I think he had visions of a slam there and got a little bit out of sync there on the dribble. No doubt that he carried that ball. And they called that one. 2:59 remaining in the first half. With the Raiders, they just, I hate to repeat myself and use the same verb here, but they just swarm over you defensively. And now Winfrey trying to reach around for the steal. He commits a foul, and Dave Shuck won't be happy about that. Doesn't matter how big the lead is. He'll get mad about any defensive miscue. And by the way, congratulations to Dave Shuck, who earlier this year won career game number 200 when they defeated Canfield of Ohio in the Midland Tip-Off Tournament. He's now run that career mark up to 202 victories with their 4 wins so far this year. So great milestone for Dave Shuck in his final go-round as head coach for the Raiders. .245. Now Jackson tries down the lane and they get contact called on the floor. They call that one on Mays. That will be his first, team 5th. Not a shooting foul. Now Albert Gallatin with the inbounds, and Palmer open for 3 as Jenkins fell down. Shot was strong, but they get the rebound. Jenkins pulled down the rebound for Albert Gallatin, but now the Colonials throw it away. Yet another turnover, and Jenkins appears to be injured. Hurt his hand, it looks like, during that scrum for that rebound, and he'll take a seat.
And referring to Dave Shuck, Chuck, most people don't know him away from what they see here on the court. Big Dave's a little animated, gets a little excited, but away from the game, I mean, he's very, very modest, very mild-mannered, very laid back. I was fortunate enough to play for Dave Shuck and Abe Everhart many years ago, and just a wonderful human being, really cares about these kids.
Pierre Jenkins can't make the 3. Farrell keeps it alive, but pulled down by Bunsick. Yeah, it's amazing, the alter ego almost. It's like he goes into the phone booth, puts on the super coach outfit, and then he's mild-mannered reporter Clark Shuck, after the game. I mean, it's unbelievable. Two sides. Turnover on the other end on the Raiders. Brian Reed, by the way, into the game now, number 0 for Albert Gallatin. The runner by Vaughn's no good, but the tap by Farrell. First 2 of the night for Carl, and the Raider lead now 18. Approaching the 2-minute mark, and now a steal. And here's Farrell ahead of the field. Oh, he slipped. Well, he thought about it again, but give Chris Moore some credit as he came down and broke things up. And now we'll get traveling called against the Raiders. So getting a little ragged out there. Into the game for the first time tonight, Eddie Robinson, number 11, will check in. Maurice Jackson will take a seat. Moore also sitting down, and he's limping on that left ankle. Logan Bowers into the game for Moore. Now Reed bangs it off of Jenkins' leg. 1:44 left now in the first half. Uniontown leads 32-14. It was 13-10 after 1 period of play, but it's been a 19-4 advantage here in quarter number 2 by the Raiders. Now forcing that pass inside, but they get away with it. Now underneath Bunsick. No, they're going to say he shuffled the feet before the contact. I didn't bring my calculator, Chester. Have we lost track of the turnovers for Albert Gallatin?
18-13 in this quarter.
Oh, my goodness. Now here's Jacobs. Jenkins, wide open. No good with the 3. Farrell keeps it alive. And now Terrence Bonds from 3. No good. Farrell, another rebound. Back up. no good. Vaughns on the rebound, and a foul will be called on Logan Bowers. So Vaughns will now go back to the strike. 1:11 left in the first half.
Uniontown just very quick off their feet. AG playing more like spectators now instead of participants. That ball goes up on the board. You need to turn around and move the Raiders back, replace them, put your body on some people.
Kevin McLean now checks in for Farrell. They're going to say that was a non-shooting foul. It's the 8th team foul on Albert Gallatin, so it will be a 1-and-1. Vaughns is 3 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. And as we mentioned earlier, a very good free throw shooter. This team, it's a good free throw shooting team. When they're in a close game with a lead late, they can put games away from the free throw line. And a lot of fast break, run and gun teams can't do that. So that's a huge advantage the Raiders have. And now a steal. Jenkins gets it to McLean. McLean, I think he was trying to pass to Jacobs there, and the foul will be called. Let's see if they call that a shooting foul or a non-shooting foul. They're going to get Reed with his first. They are going to give him 2. We have the high angle up here. As we're viewing this from the same angle that you're viewing it at home, we're right next to the camera. From that high angle, I thought McLean might be thinking about a pass there when he got up in the air. But he'll get the 2 shots, and fortunately for him, he will, because the first one does not go down. Maurice Jackson now comes back in for Reed. Exactly 1 minute remaining in the first half. The Raiders lead by 20. Second shot is up and good. McLean now 3 for 4 from the line. Uniontown continues to press. Now Jackson, a little between the legs dribble. Lost control of the ball. They're going to call him for traveling. Jackson says there was contact. He says he was fouled. Now the Raiders. Do they hold for 1 with 50 seconds left? That's not unheard of. Coach Shuck will often do that late in the half, and yes, indeed, David Winfrey is just going to catch his breath out here. Take a look at the Albert Gallatin defense. Scan the crowd for a little bit. Wave to Ma. Okay, now we'll start playing. Well, maybe not quite yet. 25 seconds left. Now we'll attack. Maybe not just yet. 20 seconds left. Now we'll look to the basket. Maybe wait just a few more seconds. And now we're down to the final 10 seconds. Now you got to shoot. And in the corner, wide open, Terrence Vaughns. But the shot does not go. McLean, 1 second left, and count it. The follow from Kevin McLean. His 6th and 7th points of the half. The Red Raiders' 36th and 37th points of the half. And at the intermission, what a Red Raider second quarter. They turn a 3-point game into a 23-point game. The score, Uniontown 37, Albert Gallatin 14. Back with our halftime program right after this.
You don't have to drive to Pittsburgh to get quality legal services. The hometown team of Davis & Davis will even come to your home to help with your case. You can count on Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
High School, it is halftime, and the Red Raiders with a 37-14 lead. Chuck Durso, and alongside of me right now, Assistant Sports Editor for the Uniontown Herald-Standard newspaper, Rob Berchani, who's here covering the game and has consented to take a few moments and talk with us here at halftime. And Rob, I guess no big surprises. Albert Gallatin stayed in for one quarter, but that second quarter was all Red Raiders.
Yeah, forced Chuck to take a couple timeouts. You know, well, Dave gets a little annoyed at little things that go wrong. But yeah, I mean, 10-10 at the end of the first quarter until they hit that three. And some nice moves from Junior Mays, a kid who I'm not that familiar with from last year. 5 points. Chuck got to use his bench a little bit. But yeah, Uniontown just too talented. I mean, Dan Andrea doing a good job with AG. They're 3-2, and they really don't have that much coming back from last year. And of course, Uniontown has everyone back just about.
Yeah, and you can't score if you don't shoot. And I think Albert Gallatin, the first 5 or 6 possessions in that quarter, they didn't even get a shot off, and that certainly makes it tough as well. Uniontown off to a very good start for this season, though. They come in, of course, 4-0. They're going to be the marked team every night out as the top-ranked team in the WPIAL, but they don't seem to mind that.
Right, and that's the thing. They haven't even been in a game yet. I mean, it's just pretty much blowing everybody out. And, you know, start to think like, well, geez, you hope they are in a game here or there to help them, you know, when it gets to playoff time. I'm sure, you know, they'll run into a couple snacks here or there. But right now, I'm just very impressed with Uniontown. And by the way, these two coaches both recently passed milestones. I don't know if you said that or not. Chuck just recently got his 200th career win. And Andrea, his 50th win at AG, which is the record at that school since consolidation. Of course, me and you go back to the old schools. When Albert Gallatin was a much better team than German, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that that both of them were better than Fair Chance George's, right?
Well, not that year when Andrea coached with King and those guys.
We talked about that during the first half, absolutely. Let's talk about Albert Gallatin for a second as far as what you think they can accomplish this season. Playoffs, probably not realistic, or is a third-place spot a realistic goal for them?
You know, I don't really know right now because it's too up in the air. I mean, obviously, Laurel Highlands is a good team, and Uniontown clearly, you know, is a good team, the best team in the WPL according to the rankings. So I don't know about the third spot. I don't know enough about the rest of the teams, but I'll tell you what, AG, they're not bad. You know, they opened up 3-2. They proved they can win some games. So, I mean, that third spot's wide open as far as I know.
And finally, before you leave us and head back down to the court, the most important question we have to ask you, the Uniontown Red Raiders, of course, here in about a week or so, they're going to be heading to Las Vegas for a holiday tournament. You have just recently been in Las Vegas, so I'm sure you can suggest a few nice family establishments that the young men could go to.
Well, of course, because my kid was with me, so of course we did no gambling whatsoever, no slot machines. We just went to the buffets and watched all the lights and had a good time.
I think his fingers were crossed. I'm not sure. That'll be a lot of fun when they go out there, though. No doubt about that. We'll be looking forward to seeing their results out in Las Vegas. Anyway, thanks for talking with us. Enjoy the rest of the game. Again, at the half, it's 37-14. Uniontown with a 23-point lead over Albert Gallatin. Third quarter action coming up right after this.
For almost 25 years, Davis & Davis has been providing legal help for local people involved in accidents, trip and fall, defective products, drunk driving victims. Get the help you need at Davis & Davis, a team of professionals working for you.
To 14, Uniontown just a typical Red Raider onslaught in that second quarter.
Yeah, Chuck, a big 24-4 run, spurred on by AG having 15 turnovers in that second quarter. At halftime, the Raiders shooting 12 for 29, 41%, and Albert Gallatin just 6 of 24 and only 25%. So right now, I think if you're Dan Andrea, you told him at halftime, hey, let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's just come out and play basketball to the best of our ability. Let's just play one possession at a time, not worry about the score at this point.
And the Red Raiders, as if they needed it, will get the first possession to open things up here. In the third quarter, Albert Gallatin will start in the 2-3 zone. And D.R. Jenkins, a quick look at the three, and D.R. starts out the second half exactly as he started out the first half with a three-point shot his third tray of the night. He now has 11 for the Raiders. So immediately Uniontown ups the lead to 40-14. And a steal. In the open court, Dier will slow things down. Now Dier running baseline, a lot of contact. He was bumped by Bunsick out of bounds. Looked for the call. Away from the ball, nothing called. Now Vaughn's nice dish inside. Jacobs can't get the roll. McLeod keeps it alive. Finally, Palmer pulls it down for the Colonials. Now Jackson looking to drive baseline. Vaughn's cuts him off. Uniontown in that man-to-man. Now Bunsick from outside. That's short. Comes to Palmer. Second chance for the Colonials. Moore turns it over. Vaughn's to Jacobs ahead of the field for the layup and send him to the line. Chris Moore will be called for his third foul. Jacobs now with 6. He'll be looking to convert the three-point opportunity from the strike. Early in the season, of course, you don't want to start using words like juggernaut or, the steamrolling or anything like that, as the free throw no good by Jacobs. A lot of basketball yet to be played, but I'll tell you right now, Uniontown living up to all the advanced billing as the top-ranked team in the WPIAL so far this season.
And again, as we discussed before, even though Uniontown has a very balanced offense and can light you up, especially from the perimeter, their forte is defense, as evidenced by the number of turnovers they've forced AG to commit and limiting them to only 14 points, Chuck, in the first 18 minutes of this game.
Yeah, that is remarkable. The old Georgia Tech football team from, 80 years ago or so, had that point-a-minute offense. And that's good in football, but in basketball, you like to get a little more than a point a minute. And right now, Albert Gallatin even underneath that. AG now in a 1-3-1. And again, Vaughns will run the baseline. Open from the land of three, no good. And the rebound pulled down by Palmer, but look at McLeod with the steal. The Raiders get another chance. I should say Vaughns gets another chance. From three, can't get the shot to go, but he'll get 3 free throws as Bunsick commits his second foul of the night. 5:56 remaining in the third period. Uniontown leads by 28. We'll have a chance to extend that lead to above 30 here if Vaughns can connect on all three. He was 5 for 6 free throw shooting in the first half. Uniontown 11 for 16 as a team from the free throw line. Make it 12 of 17 as Terrence hits them all. That's 8 in a row. Terrence Vaughns is 8 for 9. Missed his first one and has hit 8 straight since. 45-14. And there go the Raiders again. Just all over Albert Gallatin. Jacobs, Winfrey, layup. First field goal of the night for David. He has 3. And a travel. Dan Andrea wants a timeout. Going to take a full timeout. Left, and yeah, at some point, Jess, you just start to you're starting to play for the next game. Albert Gallatin. They're going to be at home on Friday, taking on I want to say Ringgold.
And as we look in on Dan Andrea's huddle, I think he's doing a real nice job. He's not being overly animated. He's not chastising his players. He knew he was in for a tough evening, and his players feel bad enough, and he's doing a nice job by not browbeating them, probably giving them words of encouragement, and probably telling them the same thing we might have discussed at the top of the half here, is let's forget the score at this point. Let's just play one possession at a time. Unfortunately, they have 6 turnovers and only 1 field goal attempt. here in the third quarter, Chuck, and that's what mirrored the second quarter and allowed Uniontown to rush to that big lead.
Albert Gallatin will be hosting Ringgold on Friday, and Uniontown will be traveling to Cannon McMillan on Friday. Game 2 for both teams in Section 2. There's a steal by Palmer. Behind the back. Now open with some space is Bunsick on the drive. Nicely done for Chris. His third field goal. He has 7 points. Bunsick and Palmer leading the way for Albert Gallatin with 7 each. That's 14 of the 16 that the Colonials have scored. That 3 from the corner, no good by Jenkins. Now ahead of the field, here's Bunsick again. Nice pass from Jackson for the score. Back-to-back buckets by Bunsick. And James Shuck wants to call a full timeout. No patience at all. He sees something he doesn't like, and he's always coaching.
Well, coaching is teaching, Chuck, and it doesn't matter what the score is. He's still got his front line people in there. He doesn't want it to get sloppy. He's making a point here. And Coach Shuck will coach 32 minutes. They could be up 40, and there's only one way to coach. And Coach Shuck preparing them for what lies ahead. All the section games won't turn out like this, unfortunately for them. But they probably need some tests here because they'll probably run into some good teams when they head west out to Vegas in about 7 to 10 days.
That's true. Although the way they're playing right now, all their section games may turn out like this. But no, I think you're right. They certainly you certainly don't expect that. This is the second of 4 games we're bringing you this week on Herald Standard Television. We'll be out at Fraser on Thursday and Friday. It's Carmichael's and Fraser girls on Thursday. Olsh and Fraser boys. Our Lady of Sacred Heart playing the Fraser boys team on Friday. And I can never quite get used to the idea of a school called Our Lady of Sacred Heart having a boys team. That makes sense to me. What's wrong with that? Anyway, we'll have both of those games for you here on HSTV, so make sure you check your local listings. Tonight it's Uniontown and Albert Gallatin, and the Raiders have just run away with this one. It's 47 to 18, 4.5 minutes left here in the third period. Nice dish from Jenkins to McLean.
Excellent ball movement by the Raiders there, Chuck. And in this quarter especially, they have made the extra pass many, many times and given up shots what they would normally take.
Long three-pointer, no good by Hickman. Nice play, though, as he keeps it alive off of McLean. So Albert Gallatin will get a second opportunity. McLean in there to play defense and to get rebounds, and the points you get from him usually a bonus. Tonight, Kevin McLean with 9. So strong effort by Kevin. Now Maurice Jackson down the lane, and he'll go to the line. Terrence Vaughns will be called. That will be his first foul. Uniontown has stayed out of foul trouble tonight. That's always going to be important as we go on through the season because Uniontown not a tremendously deep team, although they do have a pretty good, especially if Mays starts producing, the sophomore off the bench. If he can produce the way he did in the first half, actually, you look at Uniontown, they're maybe a little deeper than some people thought when you look at Duncan and Campert and Mays.
Well, Mark Campert's out for the season.
Oh, that's right.
He's got a knee injury. And I'm surprised we haven't seen Duncan tonight.
No.
He played a pivotal 6-man and even a starting role, I believe, a game or two last year. So maybe we'll see him later tonight.
Right, no action yet for Brandon Duncan. And look at Terrence Vaughns, a nice slashing drive. 15 points for Vaughns. Now another scramble. Going to get a travel out of this, so another Colonial turnover. Uniontown leads at 51 to 20, 3:41 left here in quarter number 3. Uniontown doesn't waste any time getting the ball down court either. Quick passing, and they're looking to attack. Of course, there are times that we will see with a lead late in the game, they'll go on into that stall offense. We're not going to see that in a game where they're leading by this much. But often, if they're up 10 or so, they will go into that stall. A very patient team when they have to be. Great ball handling. Now look at Farrell. Keep it alive. Couldn't get the shot to go. Third opportunity, and now he'll go to the line. Chris Jacobs and Carl Farrell doing excellent work on the offensive boards. Jenkins is going to check into the game now for the Colonials after this first free throw because Higman has just been called for his 4th personal foul. It's the 3rd team foul against the Colonials. Farrell missed his only free throw in the first half. True with that one. And the Raider advantage now 32. Farrell gets both. 3:04 left here in the third quarter. 53-20 Uniontown. They will run their record out to 5-0. And, of course, 1-0 in the section. Now Farrell in the open court. Boy, he just hasn't had any luck at all on those layups in the open court. But the Raiders, thanks to Chris Jacobs keeping the ball alive, will get a second opportunity. They just never stop hustling. Ball swatted out of bounds by Palmer. Logan Bowers will check back in. Moore will take a seat. Bowers, 5'11" junior. Now, as we just mentioned, hadn't seen Brandon Duncan, and now he's in the game, number 30. Turnaround by Farrell, no good. So the junior, Brandon Duncan, now seeing his first action of the night for the Raiders. We'll get a foul on the floor. They call that foul on Jacobs. Duncan provided some quality minutes last year as a sophomore off the bench for this Raider team. So again, they can go, looks like 7, 8 deep with quality. And you need to. There's going to be nights where you're going to need that. Especially when you play the kind of defense they play. Occasionally you'll find yourself perhaps in foul trouble. That shot by Palmer didn't go down, but look at that hustle by Logan Bowers to keep it alive. Didn't pay off, but great hustle. And these Colonials, they're playing hard out there too. Let's give them their props. Now Brandon Duncan for 3. So worth the wait for Brandon as he hits from downtown. And the lead is 36. Double team, and they'll get the turnover. Winfrey, Duncan on his left. Terrence Vaughn's on his right. Strong to the hoop, and he'll be rewarded with a pair of free throws. I believe Bunsick will be on the, no, it'll be Palmer. That's his first foul. Team 4th. A pair of free throws for Terrence Vaughn, who is 8 of 9 tonight. Now Wilson back into the game for the Raiders. Also Mays. Vaughns makes them both. .126 left here in the third quarter. Here's Jackson. Thought about the 3. I think that went off of Bauer's knee. Yes, Brandon Duncan with the quick hands defensively. Turnover for Albert Gallatin. And unfortunately for AG, we can pretty much put that one on an endless loop. And just keep playing that phrase. Now Mays passed up the 3 on one side. Didn't pass it up on the other side. Junior Mays with 8, including a pair of trays. Oh, look at the touch pass from Bunsick. That was pretty. Jenkins, the beneficiary. Nice play by Chris Bunsick. 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Jackson bats it out of bounds. Reed will check back in for the Colonials. Jenkins will take a seat. 41.2 remaining in quarter number 3. Raiders lead by 39. It just doesn't seem fair that a team, and then timeout called by Dave Shuck just as Duncan was getting ready to let fly that three. Let me finish the point, Jess. It doesn't seem fair that a team with this kind of athletic ability to play the run and gun, fast break, pressure defense style, and also be able to hit the three so effectively. They have 7 3-pointers tonight, and that's not particularly unusual.
No, De'Aaron Jenkins, Terrence Vaughns, both excellent three-point shooters when they set their feet. Of course, David Winfrey can also hit the three, and that's probably something that David will have to look to do more of as the season progresses. When you get further into section play and perhaps the playoffs, defenses will start shading Vaughns and Jenkins, and they will back off as they did last year and almost dare David Winfrey to shoot. So he's got to be able to step up to the top of that key and bang a few home.
And, of course, Duncan off the bench with that three-point range. And from what we're seeing, this is my first look at young junior Mays, who should be called sophomore Mays. But we won't get into that. But the sophomore called junior certainly looks like he has great range from outside as well. Okay, back to action now. 34.6 seconds remaining here in the third period. Uniontown with the inbounds. Duncan didn't get to shoot that three because of the timeout, so he was thinking about pulling the trigger there. He's going to run the baseline. They're going to try to free him or something. Now inside to Jacobs. Nice hands to handle the ball. And a foul. Reed will be called. Jacobs with his 4th field goal of the evening. His second opportunity at a three-point play. He missed the free throw earlier in the third quarter. This one is in. So 9 points on the night for Chris. And it's 64-22 Raiders. Colonials will hold for one. Check that. They'll try to hold for one. That's not easy to do against that Raider defense. And Christian Jacobs swats it out of bounds. Now Reese Hodge will check into the game. He's a 6'4 sophomore getting his first action of the night for the Raiders to a nice round of applause. 7 seconds left. A good look by Jackson as he finds Bunsick underneath. And Bunsick has 11. Raiders can't get a shot off before the buzzer, and that will end the third period as the Raiders extend their lead after 3 quarters. It's Uniontown 64, Albert Gallatin 24. Fourth and final quarter action right after this. Final 8 minutes, Jess. It started out so promising for Albert Gallatin, but it turned into a tough night quickly.
Well, that's why they say you have to play the entire game. You got to play 4 quarters.
And there's a turnover. And that's really been the story, is Albert Gallatin's inability to get shots off because of that Red Raider pressure defense. They just don't let you get shots off. I mean, Albert Gallatin, nothing to be ashamed about. They're not experiencing anything that most Red Raider opponents don't. Now look at Wilson on the second shot, no good. Mays, the third time, no good. And the fourth time, he'll go to the line. So on top of everything else, Uniontown starting to establish a dominance on the boards.
And AG has shot well, Chuck, as we talked off air. In the second quarter, 50%. In the third quarter, 67%, but only 10 shots total in those 2 quarters.
Yeah, that's been it. I mean, it's been turnovers. They just can't get the shots off. They looked better in the final couple minutes of that third quarter. They were able to score off some offensive sets, and we saw some ball movement and certainly some improvement from the Colonials. And again, that's what you're going to look at from here on out, just something you can build on for down the road. Mays makes 1 of 2. He now has 8 points. Leading scorer for the Raiders, Vaughns, with 17 in the first 3 quarters. Don't know if we'll even see him here in the fourth period. He's not out there on the floor right now. De'Aaron Jenkins, who also is on the bench right now and probably will stay there, scored 11 through the first 3. They're the only 2 in double figures. Another AG turnover, and back come the Raiders with a 41-point lead. Well, shuffle the feet there, Winfrey. Can't overlook the importance that he has to this team. And you're not going to look to him for too many points. They have other guys who can score. His job, play defense. That's everybody's job at Uniontown. But also just keep things steady and run the helm there.
Earlier in David's career, in his 9th and 10th grade year, Coach Dave Shuck was very hard on him. And what he was trying to do was to prepare him for his junior and senior year. And he's very happy with his performance at this time.
Beautiful look, Palmer to Bunsick. Bunsick now has 13 points. Good game for that young man. Far and away the leading scorer for Albert Gallatin. Palmer is next with 7. There's Mays with the 3. That's short. Winfrey will keep it alive. Now Duncan. Nice feed inside to Hodge. Reese Hodge with his first bucket. Now inside the score. Jenkins with 6. 6:19 left. 67-28. And the Red Raiders will once again call a timeout. Well, of course, on this very same court last night, Jess, we were here when the Uniontown girls team picked up a big win over Albert Gallatin. Even without Louis Hall, hey, it doesn't matter. A win's a win. Uniontown can put it in the books. They win 50-31. Also in Section 2, Ringgold beating Laurel Highlands at home. LH loses another close one, although it was on the road, 46-43. Cannon McMillan beats Connellsville 52-38. So looky in Section 2, it's Uniontown, Cannon McMillan, and Ringgold all tied for first. I know it's early, but that's a little bit of a surprise.
Sure. Well, it's a great way for Uniontown to get off to a good start. As we talked last night, 6-6 last year in the section and missed the playoffs by 1 game. The Phillies from Laurel Highlands, they've lost 3 games now by a total of just 7 points. So they may have lost at Ringgold to open the section, but I think we can look for them to be right there when it comes February.
Yeah, I think they're definitely playoff contenders, and along with Uniontown and Albert Gallatin, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't end up 1, 2, 3, but obviously Ringgold is going to be in the mix as well. Just passed up here at the booth by Marissa Gudak talking about that girls' game. She was one of the combatants last night for Albert Gallatin in that game as she walks past us here up at the table. Under 6 minutes left now as we resume action. Uniontown with a 39-point lead. Albert Gallatin will stay in that zone, and the Red Raiders will be content to pass it around the perimeter. Hodge and Wilson will flash occasionally in the paint, see if they can find something inside. Mays will run the baseline, back and forth. And now he'll come out to the wing, and Duncan will run the baseline, and it's just the typical Raider offense, the way they like to attack the zone. And at 3 up for a 3. No good. Hodge, he'll be called for the travel, and the AG will come back.
At this point, Chuck, I'm surprised Dave Shuck doesn't put someone else on the point to give someone else an opportunity to get a little experience. I believe that Terrence Bonds may be someone that would have to play the point if David Winfrey goes down, but of course he probably doesn't want to bring Terrence back in at this time.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point.
39.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any of the starters back out here other than as long as Winfrey remains in the game. Boy, nice rebound there by Mays. He just went right over Hickman. Well, kind of reached around him to pull down that rebound. Now Duncan. Mays. Looked like a pass. Right to Hodge. Couldn't get the shot to go down, though. And Maurice Jackson comes back the other way. Now Moore. Nice stop-and-go move. Shot, though, a little out of control. Jackson picks it up, though. Looking to drive. Will now kick it back. The 3, Hickman. No good. Duncan gets it ahead to Hodge. He's ahead. Got a step on Hickman, and he gets the roll. So 4 points here in the 4th period for Reese Hodge. Another sophomore looking to get some valuable minutes to help down the road. Skip pass to Jackson. Gets it to the baseline to Hickman. 4 minutes remaining. There's a long 3 by Moore. No good. Hodge will knock it out of bounds. AG will maintain possession. And now into the game comes Todd Jackson. He's a 5'9" junior. That's who's going to run the point for you now the rest of the way as Winfrey takes a seat. Jackson, your odds-on favorite to be your point guard next year. Maybe not?
Maybe not. Very good ninth grader on the ninth grade team.
They just keep reloading, don't
That's
they?
it. That's
They
it.
just keep bringing them. I thought there's a lot of people. There's a consensus around that this is the year for Uniontown, but boy, they're going to have some lean times after this year. I don't buy that for a minute. There's a lot. That cupboard is not bare after this year.
Well, it might be a little like Brownsville, who was at the pinnacle of how high their program could get last year with the WPL championship, but they're notched down this year, and Uniontown will be a notch or two down as well, but still very competitive, very athletic.
With plays like that one from Mays, as he will go to the line. Bunsick will be called for the foul. Boy, Brownsville ran into a bit of a buzzsaw last night. They took on McGuffey, and boy, the defending WPIAL champions, 67 to 55. I mean, it wasn't a blowout, but still, they ran into a McGuffey team that looks like they're going to make a lot of noise in Section 3. Bell Vernon losing last night as well, as they dropped a 73-60 decision against Southmoreland. Next week, we will have Brownsville at Bell Vernon. In fact, we'll have the girls' game from next Monday and the boys' game from next Tuesday here on Herald Standard Television. Mays hits both free throws. It's now 71 to 28. Three minutes remaining. We're just counting down the minutes. The Raiders with 4 blowout victories thus far this season, but this will be the far and away the largest margin of victory. Now we'll get a foul called up top. Call that on Hodge. His first, only the 3rd team foul, which is remarkable with all the pressure Uniontown's put on this entire half and only committing 3 fouls.
Well, with a different crew of officials, and I'm not criticizing them, maybe Uniontown has 2 or 3 times as many fouls, because as you can see, the hands are on the hip, hands are checking here, hands are checking there, and some crews call it, some crews don't. But the crews that don't call it, certainly that's to Uniontown's advantage, just as it was way back in the 60s to Farrell's advantage. They played football with you. If officials let you get away with it, you were in trouble.
Mays with his 3rd three-pointer of the night, and Junior Mays may end up being the leading scorer here for Uniontown, just with the points that he'll pick up here in the 4th quarter. Of course, he scored in the first 3 quarters as well. He has 14 now. Whistle blows at the 2:24 mark. Gallatin will inbounds as that foul called on Harry Kaufman, who's now in the game for the Raiders. Oh, a rejection, but they'll call contact as Mays will be called for the foul. Number 54 now, the great offensive lineman on that top-ranked AAA football team and undefeated regular season football team the Red Raiders had. Harry Kaufman blowing open those holes for Kevin McLeod. He's now getting some PT here in the 4th quarter. Free throw is up and in by Craig Hriblin. He gets both of them. Hriblin, a 6'1" sophomore. We're getting some of the young faces in there now. Here's Kaufman. Loses control of the ball. Maurice Jackson, he's still in there. Drive. Dishes to Palmer. First shot no good. Tap up and in. 9 points on the night for Donnie Palmer. 74-32, under 2 minutes left. Now a long 3, and that's no good, by Robert Sargent. Boy, we're getting all the names in there now. Now we're going to get a travel called before the shot is fired up by Justin Higman. AG actually still has 4 of their starting 5 out there.
Well, that's probably not a bad move for AG, being down by 42. Dan Andrea's first unit hopefully will play well against Uniontown's second unit and, come out of this with a positive feeling here down the stretch.
Harry Kaufman, and a big round of applause. one of the more popular kids here at the school. I'm guessing by that they're chanting now. Harry, Harry, Harry. Palmer hits the loose ball. Got some mass substitutions coming in for Albert Gallatin on the next dead ball. 76-34. One minute left. Kaufman again on the turnaround. Oh, he's feeling it.
Looks like the people's choice here at Union.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you got to love it. 40 seconds remaining. Now Maurice Jackson. Little double team. Spins away. Oh, nice dish. Higman unable to come up with the bucket, though. Goes off his feet. 34 seconds left. And now Albert Gallatin will not only substitute all 5, but they'll call a timeout as well. Again, check your local listings coming up. Games that we'll be covering from later this week. It will be Carmichael's at Fraser Girls, Olch at Fraser Boys. Make sure you look for any rebroadcasts of the Albert Gallatin Uniontown girls game as well. Next week, Bell Vernon hosting Brownsville, both boys and girls. And I believe we have a Geibel Jefferson Morgan girls game coming up next week as well as we take a look ahead at the schedule. Tonight, of course, it's been all Uniontown. Mass substitutions now for Albert Gallatin. Mark McCahill is into the game. Clayton Knox as well. Also out there is Steve Cassimer, Jeff Tomei in the game, and Brian O'Neill. Your 5 for Albert Gallatin. We'll play these final 30 seconds. David Winfrey comes back in for Uniontown. And will they just hold it for one? Apparently they will. Albert Gallatin extends the defensive pressure. Uniontown content to just run out the clock. 15 seconds remaining. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. Now we're counting it down. Kaufman at the buzzer. Won't go. The follow is too late. That bucket does not count by Hodge. And your final score is Uniontown 78. Albert Gallatin 34. Back with some final words right after this. Welcome back, Uniontown, with the big victory to open things up in Section 2. Assistant Coach Rob Kazmarski with me. We have Terrence Barnes, who was the leading scorer tonight. And Terrence, we'll talk to you in just 1 second. But first, Coach, that's what you want to do. You start out with a win.
Yes, definitely. Every section game in our section is going to be a tough fight. We understand that. So we came out. We're 1-0 in the section. We look forward to going to Cannon Mac.
How difficult is it coming in? We talked a little bit about this during the game, but I want to hear your thoughts. Coming in, number 1 ranked team, you're going to be the marked team. You're in the bullseye every night. That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, we know. These kids have been playing for 4 years. We have a lot of experience, and we're every team's game on the schedule. We realize that. So every night we have to be ready to play. But this is an experienced group with an experienced coach like Coach Chuck, so we'll be ready.
You mentioned the experience, and of course it is a senior-laden team, but you do have some youngsters, and one good thing I would imagine about tonight was the chance to work them in, and they really came through, not to single anyone out, but Mays in particular.
Yes, Coach Chuck's trying to develop players. In the playoffs, especially in our section, foul trouble, injuries, we always need to develop a bench, and when these fine young men get into the game, they have to show what they can do so they can get some more time.
Congratulations, Coach. Thanks for talking with us. And Terrence, first of all, injury update now. Rolled the ankle a little bit?
Yeah, little accident, but, I'm going to tape it up, and I'm going to go on and be ready for Friday.
Good game tonight. You guys shot very well from the outside right from the start. Dier hit that 3 right off the bat, seemed to set the tone. You shot very well as well.
Well, Dier's he's been playing great basketball. I mean, we've been finding ways to get it to him, and, with him shooting so well, it's been opening me up. I mean, I can't say enough about those guys. I mean, we just seem to gel well.
Good start, obviously. You guys are 5-0. You're playing well, but I would imagine you're not going to get too comfortable. There's a lot of basketball yet to be played, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of season left. I mean, right now our focus is on, taking this section. Then we'll worry about the Whitfield and States after that. But our first goal, our first goal is the next game. We're going to take it one step at a time. So
that's an excellent approach. I think that's the way to handle it. Good game tonight, young man. Way to go. Get in there, get off that ankle, all right?
Thank you.
Back with a final word right after this. And welcome back. Jess Hudson back at my side here as we wrap things up. What an impressive victory tonight for Uniontown. For 8 minutes, it looked like we might be in for a surprising night, but then that Raider defensive pressure just took over.
Well, I'm almost speechless. I mean, it was that great a game on the Uniontown side. For Albert Gallatin, you have to try to take something good away from every game, if there's such a thing. They shot 59% combined in quarters 2, 3, and 4. But then again, they had so many turnovers, it just wasn't enough shot attempts to keep them in the game.
And of course, Albert Gallatin drops to 3-3 on the season. That's still a good start for Albert Gallatin, and they just ran into a team that was not going to be stopped tonight. They can look ahead, of course, to Ringgold. For Uniontown, it's Cannon McMillan. But go ahead, something you want to say about Albert Gallatin?
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's a 2-point loss or a 40-point loss. It's just one loss, so let that go. I'm not even sure you want to watch a whole lot of tape of that game. Not much to get from it, so let that go and just take one game at a time, and hopefully AG will come out and be okay. And
as we just heard from Terrence Vaughns, that's Uniontown's approach as well. One game at a time. Don't get too high on yourselves or full of yourselves. You're only as good as your next game, and Uniontown, they have a lot higher goals than just winning 5 games to start the season.
Well, if Uniontown just wins the section and that's it, I mean, they'll be very disappointed. They have loftier goals, as you've said. A couple years ago, they were in the state finals, lost that game. They were in the WPIL championship last year, lost that game. And I don't think we mentioned on air, this is Dave Shuck's last year. He and Rich Bierbauer probably go out together. And I'm sure the kids say, hey, we're all going out together at the very top.
Yeah, well, big hopes, high hopes this year for Uniontown. And if this was your first look at them for this season, you certainly saw why they have such high hopes. Big win for Uniontown. They're now 5-0, 1-0 in the section. Albert Gallatin drops to 3-3, 0-1 in Section 2. We thank you for tuning in. Our thanks, of course, to Craig Lobb, way up high there, doing such a great job with the camera work all night long. And we hope you enjoyed the game. Make sure you tune in for more high school basketball as the season continues tonight. It's Uniontown over Albert Gallatin. For Jess Hudson, I'm Chuck Durso saying so long on HSTV Sports.